That's so stupid. It's time to figure out what what today's lesson's gonna be. Oh, I just a weird fucking. I asked Midjourney to make me a thing that your stand could possibly look like. I kind of dig what it came up with.
Ooh, show?
Really want to see.
It's a skeleton, so really weird looking. Like it's not cool. But, I mean, it is cool, but it's really bizarre, I guess.
What are the purple things?
I think they're keys.
Oh.
I'm not sure. And also, where are its legs?
No legs. You slide around on a little post. The post has wheels on the bottom.
Even better, it just, you know those pogo sticks? It clearly just...
Oh my god! A skeleton just bouncing around on a pogo stick.
Fires like bone bullets out of a purple key. Fucking weird, dude.
It's awfully silly for such a like deadpan girl.
I mean, it is fittingly like Halloween-y, though. All right.
Let's just do it. Yeah.
Fuck it. I mean, that is so far one of the weirdest stands, I think. So I'm into it. Today's topic of learning, today's lesson will be in let's see. Social studies.
Yeah, gonna learn about the government and such. And history.
But what's the moral lesson gonna be?
It's okay to admit you're wrong.
I like it.
Today's teacher will be Kurtzsmith, the 83rd. Oh, that's a little too big. You don't need to be that. It's a little too big, Kurtzsmith. Let's just shrink it down. There we go. Today's let's see, freshman. Let's just see what they all will be. 6313. There's not that many freshmen, so we'll just go with today's freshman. I gotta roll a 1d5 for it, apparently. I'm good at this. Damn, I'm good at this game. There we go. 4312. So your freshman will be Sugar Ray, a new transfer student from out of town who doesn't talk at all and is unusually buff.
Hi, buddy.
4312. So 3. Oh, oof. The student council member would have been Kev, but he's dead. So instead, we'll just replace him with Rich Tan.
Oh no.
The troublemaker for this one will be, was it a 1? Oh, it's gonna be DZ. Great.
Oh goodness.
This class ain't gone nowhere fast.
All right, social studies time. And we have a new student to introduce as well. I will drag them out, kicking and screaming in one moment. Kicking and screaming. All right, let's get to it. So, when last your characters were aware of what was happening, it seemed like you were caught in some kind of loop. But much to your, well, maybe not surprise, no one seems to know what you're talking about. And also, they're all just acting like everything is normal. The mood has been somber around the school due to the passing of one Kev Kavan, beloved, well, respected hall monitor and enforcer of the school's rules and policies, head of the student council's disciplinary committee. He will seemingly be missed, though there's a mix of reactions around the school. Most don't believe that anything really happened to Kev. Others are just saying, oh, it's very sad. And there's more than a few people who are just, kind of gallows humoring it, saying that now they're free to actually do what they want in school and goof around without that snitch here to tell on them and basically stop them from smoking or making out or whatever it is that they want to do. In fact, yes, the let's see. In the time since Kev's death, incidences of people breaking the rules in school have gone up by 36%. There's a noticeable amount more of students who are tardy, students who are smoking, students who are getting into fights. Not so severe that it's a completely lawless school, but severe enough that it is noticeable for you students in the AV club. You have probably had to stop people from stealing your equipment so that they can play video games in class, or otherwise, like, trying to do stuff like put dirty pictures up on projectors. The sorts of things that Kev would probably normally have to stop, now you have to stop. With that in mind, I'm going to need, let's see, one of you will say, Marisol, give me an underworld roll to determine how you are able to, you want to re-roll that, or you want to just leave it run at a 1?
I'm just gonna leave it at a 1 because I have 1 fate point.
All right, somebody has stolen one of your AV Club's pretty expensive speaker systems. You don't know who did it, you just know that it's gone. And nobody notified the AV Club about it. And no, it wasn't you two. He doesn't steal. He's a good boy. Yeah, he pawned it off so they could get a bus ticket to Ocean City. And he's gonna gamble with whatever he has left over.
No, he's got to do a DJ set. Make it big.
Once you notice that the speaker system is gone, there is a knock on the door to the AV Club. And then it opens to reveal Carolina. Is everything all right in here? Since you're all gathered, you all know, of course, Carolina is the principal of the school. A very, very, very insistent principal that everything be perfect.
Actually, there's some equipment missing.
Yeah, we don't know what happened with it, but it was here yesterday. Now it's not.
Oh dear, here as well. Yes, there's sports equipment going missing. Somebody must be to blame. In the meantime, I'll see what I can do about tracking down anything that you are missing if you have a list. I'll make sure that the perpetrators are given ample detention and probably a talking to by the police and their parents as well. That's not really what I came for, but I'll have to accept it that that is the truth. School is falling rapidly without the presence of... She looks away dramatically. Law and order. She looks back. Well, in the meantime, I seem to have found a student wandering the halls that's, I think, would be a good fit for your club. They are new to the school, and I don't know them, but they have a file and an address. She slowly starts to push you, Ryan, into the room.
Oh, hello.
Welcome to the club.
She kind of pushes you, Ryan, into the middle of all of them and then slowly starts to close the door. All right, I'm sure everyone will get along. And then a moment before it completely shuts, while there's still just a crack, you can hear her say, or else. And then the door fully closes.
Real. What?
It doesn't matter. We're super friendly here. And I offer my hand to her, and then if she gives it back, I start shaking it way too hard.
Yeah, she limply, weakly gives you her hand.
I shake it really excitedly, like up and down, like your body shakes. I'm Mia Nova!
She just keeps a straight face and nods. Nice to meet you.
Can I give a small little bow? Hello, I am Simone. Welcome to our little club here. It's cozy.
Yeah, to give a general description, the AV room is kind of filled with both some newer looking technology along the walls and computers. So everything is like up to date. It is a very nice school. There's also some older technology kind of crammed in the back with a small sign that says "Do not touch vintage" written. Well, then with the signature of Lewis Clark beneath it. Other than that, it's pretty much stock standard you'd expect out of a high school for an AV room, with the exception of course, the wall of retro technology and occasionally in the background between some of the stacks of machines, a small toy robot will just kind of march back and forth. You can even hear it every now and again fall over and make a plastic clunky sound.
Oh.
It's like no, it's one of those like boxy style old wind up robots.
Obviously, he needs to get put back.
I mean, it's just kind of wandering around. There's nothing really of too much interest about it. It just has small light up eyes. Yeah, he's helping to navigate through the labyrinth of technology. So, Ryan, you are a new student here at the school. What do you kind of dress like? What's your style?
I guess she'd be wearing a black dress with white frills on it. Some high pumps, high heels. I don't know.
Very classy for a high school student. So immediately that's what you guys will notice about
It's not
this.
like a long dress. It's like a short-ish dress.
All right.
Hey, I like your style.
Well, thank you. You look nice as well.
So, are we the first people you've gotten to meet since you got here?
Other than the principal, yes.
Well, jeez, we should probably show you around.
Certainly.
I filled out some of your stat parameters, your skills for you, so you don't have to worry so much about that. This is a very combat-like game, so it won't come up too often anyway, hopefully. But you never know who you're gonna meet. Giving Ryan the tour, you want to just take her around the school?
Yeah.
Okay. The school itself is very vaporwave, very synth. Everything has a sort of sheen over it. It's either got this nice bubblegum pink and sky blue thing going on, or it's like chrome, or there's just nice long retro style architecture, reminiscent of almost a shopping mall at points. A little bit different. Obviously, it's modeled to be an academy of sorts. Everything here is very rich, I'll say. Like it feels like exactly the type of kind of fantasy academy that people would send their children if money were not an issue. Because of that, there are even like if you look out a window, for example, you will see there's like there's equestrian classes. There's a rather generously sized swimming pool. There there are multiple swimming pools actually on the campus grounds. Um, Everything looks like movie quality here in this school. And on top of that, the clubs all seem to be very well. Some of them are missing some things right now, but the different clubs that exist around the school and have their own different rooms also have quite an elaborate setup. Running the junior economist class is, or club rather, is a rather nervous individual by the name of Million Wilson, an androgynous young woman in a full business suit with glasses. She is currently recruiting her group into a multi-level marketing scheme that they keep insisting it's an MLM, and she keeps saying, no, 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 no. It's not a pyramid. It's a line. The line goes from you to me, and then the people that you hire beneath you, that line goes to you, and then the lines go kind of intersect when you guys work together to hustle for sales. It's not a pyramid. It's lines, like a grid of money. We're all going to be rich, and I have really done my research on this. It would be best to move on before you two are recruited into this MLM scheme. Selling, what's a good name for an MLM thing? Let's see. Oh boy, made up product name generator. Let's see what it gives me. Oof.
What are we selling?
Livamins. Vitamins for life.
Oh no, it's a Herbalife situation.
At least it's not essential oils.
No, those are definitely included in this.
Simone, I'm going to need you to give me a durability roll against the passive difficulty of 4.
Okay.
Oh, you do really well. As soon as the students in the junior economists club see you, they rush at you holding up bottles and shaking them of these Livamin. Come on, you gotta buy them. They'll be great for your hair. I need the money or they're gonna take my thumbs. But you managed to resist any and all pressure sales from these desperate high school students.
She probably just gives them like each a look as soon as they're all kind of like, and then just says no and walks off.
The students hang their head in defeat, but then behind them, the shadow of Million looms large.
Oh no.
I think we have some cold calls to make, club members.
Oh no.
And they just slowly are dragged back into the room with tearful eyes. One of them reluctantly slides on a headset with a microphone. Aside from that, there's also this. It seems like just a general exercise room, where Ryan, you will notice that all of the equipment is being manned by just what look like infants. Some of them are doing squats. Some of them are lifting and dropping a barbell. There's one on the treadmill going approximately 50 miles per hour. They look like they couldn't be older than a year or two. But these babies are really ripped. One of them grabs the wrong protein shake bottle. Another baby pushes them. And then the baby that gets pushed pushes the other baby back. And then all the babies begin to make what you can only assume are monkey sounds. As they begin to encircle the babies that are currently wrestling over a delicious, refreshing bottle of protein powder. Probably should be infant formula. But no,
Wow.
only the biggest gains for these babies.
Yeah. What are they doing up here anyway?
Aside from the baby exercise room, which nobody really likes to talk about, there's also the a very, very, very nice classroom. Extremely elegant. Desks that look like they were carved in some kind of 17th century French carpenter shop. Someone who would work explicitly for the highest aristocracy and nobility. This is the very finest detailed work of cherry and mahogany and of light notes of bonewood. The accents are gilded with some fluorescent notes around the room on the walls, giving the entire room the splash of both artistic beauty and classic sensibility. This is by far the nicest room in the school.
What kind of classroom is it?
Well, you'll have to go in to find out.
Oh, I know. All right, I go in. Do my feet start turning into mushrooms?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I think it would be safe to assume, Nia, you would probably encourage your fellow students to go in and check it out, right?
Yeah, that looks super neat.
Do the rest of you follow? I'm gonna assume yes.
Oh hey, look at this really pretty classroom. Let's go check it out. New person. It's Ryan, right?
Yes. I guess she'll slowly walk in.
Yeah, even we don't know what this room is.
It's gotta be
Okay.
worth something. I mean, look at how nice it is.
After you all walk in, the door closes shut gently and locks. And a figure in a very large leather recliner slowly spins around from behind his desk and steeples his fingers in front of him. Hello, class. I'm so pleased that you've made it. He points at a very beautiful diamond-encrusted clock on the wall. On time. Welcome to Social Studies. I am your teacher. He stands up very, very politely. Kurtzsmith. You can call me Mr. Kurtzsmith the 83rd, or Mr. 83rd, or simply your humble servant. He bows very politely. Here to teach you all of the things that you need to know about social studies. Now, if you'll sit in your desks and take out your books, we can begin. He slowly pulls a gun from his coat and then levels it at your group.
Oh, no problem.
Go ahead then, get in your desks.
uh,
Have
don't
a
we-
seat.
Yes, sir.
He begins to put the gun away, slowly, almost reluctantly. Such a polite class. That's a nice change of pace. The last class that was in here, just this last period, he sits down very calmly behind the desk, will no longer be causing trouble for anyone. But I don't think that will be the case here. Such measures won't be necessary with such well-behaved students who are so polite. I've noticed, he puts his hands on the desk and leans forward a little. It's really hard to see what his face looks like beneath this black hood on it. There's been a rise in student law breaking, we'll say. Infractions, demerits. These things all need to be respected for a nice, polite society. But lately it seems that some students have just not been learning their lesson. Or like that one, over there. Another chair spins around, revealing a very... Well, it's hard to say. It looks like a very short woman that is wearing stilts and some kind of Ren Fair type armor and a very long red wig. She is tied to a chair and gagged.
Oh,
This one, for example, decided not to come to school in her real uniform. She instead wore this whole thing. Now, personally, I think that it could probably fit in well in a history class, but social studies require you to be a little bit more uniform. So she will just be there. Oh, and of course, another chair spins around, revealing the freshman, Sugar Ray. He looks like he has no idea how he got there. He's just looking around a little bit panicked.
Oh,
One of the younger students is here as well. A transfer student, actually. Perhaps you will be able to make friends with them. Perhaps you will even come to foster a great darkness within them. Perhaps that darkness was there all along, waiting to be cultivated into a weapon. And then, finally, the last chair spins around on its own. Revealing one Rich Tan, a very, we'll say, highly strung looking, long-haired student in a business suit. He kind of spins around and wipes his nose. And me, Rich Tan. Hi, everybody. It's me. Say, teacher, can I go for the day? I've got allergies. He points at his nose. Kurtzsmith patiently taps his chair. And as Rich Tan is smiling, that expression doesn't change, even though a throwing knife embeds itself in the back of his chair right next to his head. He just kind of, he glances sideways at the knife and says, okay, just checking, never mind. And shrinks down in his chair a little bit. All right.
ooh, you're in trouble.
Rich Tan, as you guys know, is a member of the student council in charge of the website and digital communications that the student council likes to maintain. He is notorious for taking a variety of medications prescribed to him by a very questionable doctor, but he has notes to back all of it up. And he is also the chief operator and #1 jerk behind the student council's message board, where other students can anonymously report on any troublemakers that may need to be dealt with. You don't know Rich Tan to ever A, fail a class, but B, ever study for a class, making it likely that he pays other people to do his work for him. But he does have some very top grades and will demonstrate his mastery over martial arts to anyone who questions him. Another odd thing about Rich is that he seems to be everywhere. If you go around the corner, you might see him, or you may see him if you go to the bathrooms, or you may see him in the lunchroom, and you'll see him in all of these places, but never really going between them. It's like he's already there. And for the record, for Lumex, who doesn't maybe know Rich Tan, his stand lets him make copies of himself, 4 copies, precisely, exactly.
I remember that.
So once you are all situated, there are other students in this class, by the way. They're just kind of like weird, random, faceless people. Though you wouldn't really know who they are likely. I think I have a good token for them actually. Let's find out. They all have brown hair.
Yeah, like in animes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
they all have brown hair. They all have kind of like just really nondescript
Their faces
like
and
faces.
haircuts. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of like maybe one of them has glasses to break things up.
Marisol's gonna get Ryan's attention. They're obviously all in their desks now. Hey, that guy over there, he's in the student council. He's really crazy. So, I'd stay away from him if I were you.
And she'll nod and just kind of like study him from afar.
Oh no! Are these the extras?
These are the extras. Yeah, they look kind of like they have weird, almost robotic type heads and face masks that are kind of misshapen or unequal. But they do have brown wigs on in student uniform.
Yes, okay, good.
That looks natural.
Yeah, they look real normal. You notice that if you were to look closely at any of them, they're just kind of pretending to write things, or like holding a book upside down, that sort of thing. Class begins now. Kurtzsmith just takes he takes his seat again after the bow and everything. Now, if you'll all open your books to page 136, you'll see that there is a good chapter on the beginnings of a little something called the Catholic Church. Now, we were reviewing, of course, the history of the Catholic Church, starting with some of its roots in and around the time of ancient Rome. Question, students. Can anyone tell me when Rome was founded? As the Roman Empire. Does anyone have any idea?
100 BC? I don't know.
Sorry, what did you say?
I kind of just made up a date.
He pulls a gun out of his coat. Pulls the slide back. Very loud, very satisfying click.
She's got her hands up. Yep, sorry.
Would you care to take a second guess?
She's starting to sweat and look around. I, don't have anything to offer, I'm afraid.
Give me a durability roll against a 4, as Kurtzsmith has a very intense, intimidating aura, just holding a gun. Oof. Would you like to fate point it, or do you want to just let it roll? You do have the mental stress to absorb that. It is just a stress attack. Okay, you take 4 mental stress. Ryan, your stand is starting to, it's not going to activate, but it is letting you know that there is available ammo. Kurtzsmith sees that you're sweating and nervous, Marisol, from having a gun pulled on you, but he just puts it away back into his coat. That was not correct. It was April 21st, 753 BC, according to Roman tradition. You really should do your studying. It's important to the fabric of society that you study. How else are you supposed to learn about all the wonderful things that are out there in the world? Well, it's important that we speak about Rome in particular, because we are also talking about the roots of democracy.
Yeah, thanks, Chief. And she's gonna keel over on her desk. I'll study more.
Of course, democracy didn't really begin with the Roman Empire. It stretches far back. It's associated with the ancient Greeks, who themselves had a rich history of debate, philosophy, and so on. It was from their initial findings and the fine workings of all of these great thinkers that we were able to get a system as to what we have today. Now, the importance of the Catholic Church and democracy cannot be overstated, particularly when it comes to certain regions in the 19th century, during the lead up, of course, to World War and so on and so forth. Reviewing these two things is a part of a fundamental sort of dissonance that occurs when the attempt is made to square off social and civic responsibility with religious idealism. He begins to rant and ramble about this topic quite extensively. Ryan, give me a careful roll as you're listening to this guy talk. You have spent some time talking to certain Leroy. This guy, what he's saying, doesn't sound too dissimilar from what you've probably heard the Antichrist say. Meaning that this person is probably of a very dark, sinister nature. If the drawing of guns and aiming them at students wasn't enough of an indication. Aside from that, you also notice that the hood allows him to kind of hide his expressions, surprise, that sort of thing. Anything that he doesn't want to vocalize or express, he generally won't. In that way, he is, I won't say unflappable, but in your, I would say, assessment as a therapist, this guy is probably some kind of, well, hard to say, psychopath, maybe? He is quite articulate, however, as he continues to go on and on and on about the fundamentals of democracy and the schism that exists when religion is introduced into any system. Finally, he points a finger at Sugar Ray. And you there, I couldn't help but to notice you have some sort of speaking disability. Sugar Ray just vaguely motions to the void where his mouth should be and then shrugs. Ah, well, of course, we here at Capital City are very accommodating to students of all sorts of considerations. So I would just like you to maybe write and follow along if you could, and I will check your notes at the end. As for you, Kurtzsmith gets up from behind his desk and walks over to Rich Tan's table. I recall seeing that you actually had done last night's homework, which is strange, actually, Mr. Tan. I never really gave out any homework, and yet you already have it finished and He picks up the stack of papers from Rich Tan's desk and ready to turn in. Slowly, he starts to go over page by page. Oh my. Not only are these answers all filled in already, some of this actually looks like it might have been directly copied from my own style of handwriting. In other words, he places a stack of papers back down on the desk. Someone decided they had the audacity to not only snoop through my student planner, which of course I keep a secret copy of with a decoy, a red herring. They had the nerve to basically forge my style of writing, likely so that they could try and write notes for themselves about, oh, I don't know, any number of topics. He kind of squats down in front of Rich's desk and looks at him. Mr. Tan, I understand there's been a loss here with the student council. Your head of disciplinary actions is deceased. That is tough. But what's tougher is meeting a student who just doesn't see the potential in themselves that I see. He slowly reaches over into Rich's bag and takes out a bottle of pills. For example, Mr. Tan, I think you would focus a lot better if I kept these at my desk. We'll see how you do, maybe after a day or so. I'll speak, of course, to the nurse and make sure that everything is above board. I just can't help but to think that these, he shakes the pill bottle, little pills are just a distraction. He notices Rich Tan's eyes following the pill bottle and shakes them even harder. Rich Tan immediately starts looking crazed and tries to reach out to grab at the pill bottle. Those are mine, man! Kurtzsmith pulls him back. Now, Mr. Tan. I can already tell. You and I are going to be very good as student and teacher. Once these pills are out of your hand and stomach for long enough, I think you're going to start to see the better side of education. A bit of a darker, more neglected side that maybe these pills help you run away from. Something you should probably confront, don't you think? Something unavoidable. Catharsis, Mr. Tan. He pockets the bottle of pills. They don't give out prescriptions for that one, but I think it's sorely needed in your case. Of course, I'm not a doctor. I'm just a little bit of a technician is all. He adjusts his leather gloves. He seems to be quite thrilled as Rich begins to grab at his hair and lean forward on his desk. Need those... Come on, man. I have backups. He starts to go through his bag. Kurtzsmith slowly turns around and then reveals that between each of his fingers is a different pill bottle that he starts to shake. You mean these? I saw them while I was finding the first one. I don't think you'll be needing these either. Oh, don't worry. He pockets them too. If you're feeling down, you should try eating a mushroom soup or a stew, or maybe mushrooms on ramen, or fried mushrooms. Breaded, coated, delicious. He sits down at his desk. Now that this matter has been handled, there will be an assignment to make sure that everyone can get on the same page of studying socials. It's important to study society. Look at the deep corruption that dwells within it. Is it a problem? Or is it a solution? Who knows? He leans back in his chair and claps his hands together. Today's assignment is to find one thing that you think is really wrong with the society that we're living in.
and what you think should do. What should we do to fix it, if anything? Think back on the ancient need for democracy and the problems that it solved and the problems that it caused. Perhaps we could find, for example, that it's the student council that is the real problem at this school. He leans forward on his desk. I just couldn't say. Oh, he throws a knife kind of casually from his sleeve, cutting the the rope, the rope on DZ, breaking the binds that are holding her to her chair. She leans forward. God damn it! Removing the gag from her mouth. Just because these guys can't keep their shit together, I should be able to wear my full costume. I didn't hear anything about it from the disciplinary board. She leans back in her seat, folding her very loud, clunky suit of costume armor. Kurtzsmith just sighs. Tomorrow, DZ, wear the proper uniform, or you will be reported to the authorities, whichever ones remain. It seems that the city is burning right around us, so maybe there won't be anybody left to report you to. Except for my 9mm. He just puts a gun on the desk. The ultimate authority. Class dismissed! He kind of like stands up, politely bows, and then very politely in measured steps walks to the door. Oh, and one more thing. Before we are done with today's lesson, if anyone needs a favor, be sure to ask. An extension, perhaps on an assignment, extra help with a test, that sort of thing. I'm always glad to help. Always here to help. And then he bows. Kurtzsmith the 83rd. Class is, well, ended. And then he just backs out of the room very, very casually. For you guys, now that class is over, you can see that the room is beginning to, well, I won't say melt, but parts of it are just falling off of the wall and hitting the ground and becoming a sort of oil painty, melty goop. The diamond clock, for example, just collapses. Some of the chairs and desks are just smearing and melting, revealing very standard desks beneath. Once Kurtzsmith leaves, it seems like it's just a normal classroom again. There was really nothing fancy about it to begin with. Quite plain, actually. Although, notably, growing out of your desk, Marisol, is a very large white truffle mushroom.
Why is, she's gonna kick the desk away from her. Yeah, I'm leaving. We just got away from those MLM guys, but I still feel really duped.
Oh, another thing that is important to note is that one of the extra background students is just half melted into the floor and gurgling.
Oh, no!
The others are just walking over him as they leave the room. He's just kind of half in.
Do we notice this, or is this something we just is in the background?
It's kind of both a little bit. Yeah. I mean, you notice it, but it's not that weird.
Okay, this is normal.
Yeah, it's just normal.
Okay.
As Kurtzsmith said, today's lesson is to find a problem in society and what you believe the solution to it should be. So each of you will be asked to come up with a societal woe and your character's proposed solution. Give you a little time to do that. We will take a quick break, 5 to 10, also so you can use the restroom and such. And then we'll get back to it to see what has been learned in Kurtzsmith's class of social studies. Stay tuned. I don't have any pause music, intermission music. I guess I should. What do I got? There we go.
Oh, you do have something. Oh.
I am back. Is everyone else back?
Oh,
I am also back.
I think we're all here.
Think so.
All right. Time seems to go quickly, and it's like the blink of an eye before it is the next day, and you are once again in Kurtzsmith's classroom. It now again looks as beautiful as it did yesterday, now having that facade again. I hope that everyone's prepared to give me the answers I'm seeking about society, its woes, its diseases, and how we can make things better for everyone. DZ is wearing, a uniform, though it looks like it's padded, like has a broader chest, big shoulders. It's possible she might have taken some football equipment to make this happen. She looks buffish, but it's clearly not real muscle. We'll start with you. He points at Sugar Ray. What is your answer? Sugar Ray hands forward a paper. Kurtzsmith looks it over. Better child care practices. Seems personal. Yeah, sure. I'll give that a pass. He puts it down. Good job, new kid. And you, Rich Tan. Rich Tan is a shaking, fumbling mess. The problem is like that probably society. I mean, what is society? I was thinking, he's starting to pull at his hair. Yeah. That's a fail, Mr. Tan. You didn't do any homework at all, did you? None of the required assignment. You just probably sat in your bed and sweated and shook. Oh. We'll have to give you extra work for the weekend. Maybe even Saturday class. He just kind of strides by confidently as Rich Tan just has a breakdown. Come on, man. Oh, gee. And you, DZ, what is your answer to this question? DZ leans back in her chair. Obviously, it has something to do with gender norms. The teacher just lifts his chin. Go on. Well, if a lady wants to dress in a suit of armor with a nice flowing wig and be someone's knight in shining armor, I think that should be perfectly allowed. She folds her arms. In fact, I think that it really doesn't matter much what people look like or what they're made out of even. Could be anything. Bricks, like little mechanical parts or some kind of weird popsicle stick configuration. Could be anything. What really matters is love. Kurtzsmith just loudly says over her, fail! Wow, boring. And then he walks by.
Oh.
And you, he leans forward on Nia's desk. What's your answer to society's problem?
Oh, well, I think maybe people need more mental care.
Mental care. He sits down on your desk. Interesting.
And like therapy and stuff, but for free.
Free mental care for... Okay. Pass.
Because people, see
I
a lot of...
It's impolite to speak over me, you know. He slowly begins to draw a gun from his coat again. Very rude indeed.
Did I hide under my paper?
That won't stop bullets. Whatever, I said pass. He gets up from the desk. You. He aims at you, Simone, with one finger. What is your answer?
I think that one of society's biggest ills is that it treats certain members of minorities wrong, and I think we could set up better social programs for them to actually, help people instead of putting them down and putting them in reservations or things like that.
Prejudice and bigotry. Those are really big problems. Pass. Good job, O'Connor. And you... He finally brings a finger around to you, Marisol. What is your answer?
Unchecked power, one that uses endurance.
Fail!
What? Hey, I didn't even get to finish.
That's right. I hold the authority in this classroom, and it would be impolite for you to assume otherwise. Fail, like I said.
Oh.
And you... He whips his body around dramatically and points at you, Ryan. What is your answer to society's woes?
Well, I think that individuals are now expected to fit some cookie cutter standard, and instead they should be celebrated for their uniqueness, allowed to show and have wonder for life again.
As you're talking, it seems like Rich Tan is slowly pulling his face away from his hands and looking up, hopefully. Yeah. What she said, man.
Wait, what did Rich Tan do?
He agreed with you.
Yeah, he just slowly looked up with his tearful eyes and said, yeah. He looks at Rich Tan and then looks at you, Ryan. Oh, you did the one thing you weren't supposed to do. You gave this young man hope. Stands behind Rich. It's the one thing I pretty clearly said don't do. He points at the wall behind himself, which it is written on the chalkboard, don't give Rich Tan help or hope. How else am I supposed to cultivate a young student into something great if there's people like you walking around with your bright ideas and sunshine, making sure that these troubled individuals rise up out of their circumstances with anything less than embracing the indignities of this world and all of its many flaws? Isn't that right, Mr. Tan? You had to kill them, right, Rich? You killed them, exploded them, bit by bit, and when they weren't looking, you became their friends, took over their bodies, made them into weapons. There's no bill that's gonna help you solve that problem, Rich. They can't erase time. Rich is clearly having an actual meltdown. Kurtzsmith taps him on the shoulder as he just is reduced to a crying, shaking pile on his desk, just in hysterics. Kurtzsmith just waits a moment. If we observe society at its most basic level, what we see is the refuse of the building materials used to construct it. These individual pieces are chipped away from, and the fragments of what helped to shape them becomes poisonous debris scattered about in the grass and the fields. Just like poor Rich Tan here. Isn't that right, Mr. Tan? I said, isn't that right, Mr. Tan? Mr. Tan, isn't that right? Isn't that right, Mr. Tan?
He just needs therapy.
Well, too bad there's no therapist in the room. Just social studies. Just more tests. He slams a fist down into his own desk, cracking the wood. Were you gonna say something, Ryan?
I mean, I don't know. I know she's a therapist, but
Yeah.
I don't know what to do.
Sir, I'm not sure this is going to help him understand anything that he's done wrong.
I've had enough. He pulls a gun from his coat. He looks at his watch and then looks up at the diamond clock on the wall. If you don't solve society's problems by the time that hand hits 2 p.m., everyone in this room is going to be dissolved into food for rich people to enjoy in the form of delicious white truffles. Don't think that you're going to get the jump on me. I'm in full control of this room. Go on, then. Solve the problem. Society's biggest flaw. What is it?
Entropy?
He just shoots the gun at your feet, Marisol.
Hey, alright.
Roll a durability against the 7 to see how much mental stress he inflicts. You take 5 mental stress and are now, yeah, pretty shaky, pretty jumpy, from having the gun just aimed at you, and also the shot landed really close.
Alright. I now have a consequence.
No one's leaving alive until you solve this problem. It's a simple one. Oh, test with one answer and one answer alone. Go on, then. Solve the problem.
We can't solve it all.
Nonsense. There's a room full of talented pupils in here, each with their own little bits of expertise to bring to the table. What's the point of a democracy if you can't work together? What's the point of a society that just ruins people? Unless it's a machine made to make evil, of course. A machine that produces destruction. It gives birth to death. And isn't it beautiful at doing it? He looks down at his watch. You have 60 seconds to answer the question or die.
It's people like you who make things evil and awful, and you have to solve it by removing people like you from society?
He just throws a handful of grenades into your lap, Simone.
I
thought he had a gun in his hand. Where did he fucking
You just pulled him out of nowhere. Give me a durability for
Can I interfere?
No, Simone, you succeed with. How do you succeed with style against these grenades?
I throw them right back in his lap.
He catches them, of course. So you think the idea we should give back to the community? Good answer, O'Connor. These grenades will kill me and everyone else in the room. Perfect answer. The mushrooms will be roasted.
Last lesson, I learned how to explode things into glitter. Can I explode the grenades into glitter?
Sure.
Yes, please.
Give me a power roll. No, give me a precision roll.
I have a fate point.
I'd use it, I guess. You're gonna need to pass a 3.
I guess I will. I have 2 things, I guess.
Okay.
It'll be all my points though. I just reroll. Okay, I'll reroll.
Yeah, it's hard to do worse than a 0 here.
There
Yeah, there you go.
I guess I've seen this on TV. Basically, yeah.
Kurtzsmith throws the glitter up into the air once it's like the grenades have been turned into that. Ah, celebration! This is wonderful! A really colorful funeral. Good idea, Nia Nova.
Oh!
You have 30 seconds. The clock is ticking. He starts to assemble a long barrel rifle on top of the desk, just taking pieces out from under the desk and putting it together. Tick tock, tick tock. Can't be late. Tardiness is a really big problem at this school, but I'll make sure that you die on time. You can actually, if you draw out Rich's, he is full of mental stress, so it really won't be hard. He's practically a fountain of mental stress. Rich, if you want to know what you can compel, if you look at his sheet, he's an efficient multitasker, polished persona, unexpected assassin, war veteran, nightmare on the battlefield, and quote-unquote friendly guy. He's also the cheerful Lord of the Wires as his function, as his high aspect. And I don't know if I mentioned it, he is unintentionally creepy. And yes, he can explode.
Yeah, I was thinking of using an unintentionally creepy in some way.
Just compel him to be unintentionally creepy towards the teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me a clever roll. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Rich stands up from his desk in a sudden moment of lucidity. What does it look like, by the way, when I guess your stand just snatches a bone trinket off of him or something while he isn't looking? Or while nobody's looking, really.
Yeah. Just bounces up from
the ground.
The ground.
Hell yeah.
Maybe he like snickers, I imagine.
Yeah. Oh, that's like chatters, and I like it. You know what, Teach? You're right. You're really right. Society is a weird kind of machine, connected by wires of people communicating with one another, building networks that can be integrated to make wonderful things. It's true. People do a lot of bad in their lives. He just starts moving closer to the desk, walking towards a stunned Kurtzsmith who is still watching the clock. But that doesn't mean they have to stay bad. Sometimes it's okay to just admit that you were wrong. You did wrong things. No amount of pills is going to change that. Sometimes you just have to come to terms with the darkness. If you ever want to find out where the light is, Teach. He tucks one finger under Kurtzsmith's chin. You know what I mean, man? Kurtzsmith is slowly just pulling a gun and putting it under Rich's chin. He pulls back the hammer.
Oh no! Can I dive on Rich Tan?
But you want to dive bomb the chair? Well,
No, like dive bomb Rich Tan and knock him out because he's about to get shot in the face.
okay. Yeah, give me a speed roll.
I have a feat for this.
Oh, do you? Save the day.
Save the day.
The 6, you succeed with style. So you managed to push Rich Tan out of the way of the blast, which instead hits the diamond clock on the wall, causing it to shatter. Kurtzsmith just kind of looks puzzled. He expected Rich to be dead. He actually looks his gun over and then looks at Rich. Huh. Oh. Huh. Clock. And he looks at his own watch. Well, technically speaking, I guess there's no more countdown. He puts his gun away calmly. You know what, Rich Tan? Pass. Pass, Rich Tan. He just kind of nods, smiling at Rich. Rich is just on the ground, like screaming, "What the fuck? You almost shot me!" Kurtzsmith finally starts putting the rifle he was assembling on a strap and then puts it over his shoulder. Well, class, I think that you've learned all you can about social studies and society as a whole. Goodbye. He just pulls a window open and then jumps through it, leaving the classroom.
I hate this class.
Who did it, gang? I say from the floor.
I think I'm a little traumatized.
I'll never be able to forget this.
I need a drink.
Ryan, as everyone is like kind of wrapping up and getting ready to leave and reflecting on the lessons of the day, your ability gives you the kind of sense to determine mental stress. And now that this has happened and there's this weird moment, you can see that all of these people are packed to the gills with stress, packed to the gills with different mental issues. It's hard to say. Maybe the shape of the trinkets you pull out give you an idea of what that person might be struggling with. These people have probably trauma levels comparable to war veterans easily, or people that have been through incredible natural disasters and have survived. All of them have it, every single one of them. Some of them have even survivor's guilt, guilt over murder, guilt over just so many different things. They are a fucking arsenal for somebody like you. And maybe, potentially, maybe you could use your abilities / your knowledge as a therapist to maybe help any that aren't in your way in your task of manipulating them for the purposes of the rise of the Antichrist, of course. Who knows?
Something I should have asked in the beginning. What is the Antichrist's, like, does he have something to do with them being here? Does he want them to stay here?
Seemingly, yes. Yes, in character, you would know that the Antichrist put up a field of little blocker things that are interfering with the brains of the egregori. It's likely he's keeping them here or helping them to stay trapped in this delusion so he can continue his reign of terror on Earth.
Okay.
So as long as they're contained, they can't really do much about him. And contained in this like very strange high school fantasy where everything is weirdly purple and pink.
So I guess I'm trying to, like, Mhm. Like,
What do you?
make sense of what.
What is
your
your
role is?
goal here? Yeah.
Your goal is to keep them from. Technically, it's to keep them from getting out of this. That's really about it. It's just making sure that there's no problems with them figuring out what's going on and escaping from this basically mind prison.
Well, I guess if I steal their stress or their issues mentally, that could keep them from knowing, figuring it out, or
Possibly.
it could backfire, which might be a good thing.
It could.
So how do I do?
How do you do it? Well,
Yeah.
no pressure on this session. It's like something to think
Your-
about.
Your character is still figuring out where the heck she is and what's going on.
Sure. I mean, you have a general idea that you're inside some kind of zone of illusion
Yeah.
of sorts. You're just trying to get your footing and maybe not get accidentally killed or turned into mushroom food by the psychotic teachers of this school.
Hey, you guys want to go, like, boy watching or something? It usually makes me feel better.
Hey, Rich Tan, I heard that Jodeci has a six-pack.
Rich Stan is already in the teacher's desk and emptying just pills into his mouth.
No!
Oh, I needed these. Six-pack, that'll help wash these down. Thanks, Nova. You're the best. I don't mean that at all. And then he just slowly starts to leave the room, which is...
I saved your ass!
Yeah, whatever.
That guy sucks.
I heard that, man. Wait a second. He pokes his head back in.
She's gonna put her hands around her mouth. Yeah, you're the worst student council member.
Oh, man. I'm going to need 2 of these. He puts another pill in his mouth and just leaves sadly.
Ryan's
Good counselor!
I think he's all right.
Ryan's gonna catch up with him and just nonchalantly, like, say, look, I know I'm just a high schooler like you, but I am a therapist as well. And she'll hand him his card. It looks like you're dealing with a lot. If you ever want to talk, I'm around.
He takes the card. A therapist high schooler? I guess that's not so weird. There's one kid that's basically an assassin. Huh. All right. Thanks, new girl? He just kind of looks you over. Huh.
Name's Ryan.
What are you? Okay, sure. Ryan. Ryan. Got an A-N at the end. He starts walking away. Ryan Tan. He looks back at you. Not scary enough, no. He just keeps walking. But he...
Not scary enough.
Oh, all his wives are... Like, he has
His wives have to be terrifying. Like, they'll rip his face off.
He has a fetish for death.
Yeah.
His wives are all maniacs.
He better not look at me.
Many
Except for-
flavors of maniac.
Except for one of them, really.
Oh yeah, one of them was based off of what's her name? Is it Vanessa Byers? From the Tostina Pizza Rolls skits on SNL.
I love her. That's hilarious.
Her name was Aubrey, and she was the only normal wife, and she was just a nice, normal woman.
We taught him karate and she left him.
Yes, she left him after the group saved her and other female students from the basement that Sensei Seagal had locked them in.
Yeah, that's how it happened. And his stand, crocodile ass. What was it?
I think it was crocodile ass. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Nice.
It was named Alligator Ass, and that stand is named for an actual song Steven Seagal put out called Alligator Ass, of course.
Oh my goodness.
It had the ability to instruct people to do things very wrongly and injure themselves. So all he did was teach people karate that would like end up crippling them.
They'd
Like,
also get sad and turn into orbs.
Yeah, they would get sad and curl into a ball and roll up basically.
Oh, is that the same stand?
Yeah, that was the stand.
Oh shit.
It was also just an ongoing joke about people rolling up in the balls and sadly rolling away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had to save Mr. Junior from that.
It's like the sheep in Elden Ring.
Yes, exactly. Except they roll because they're in danger.
Mhm.
But with that, it seems that everybody is pretty much at the end of the day outside of the school, getting ready to get into buses or into cars. An ominous green luxury car pulls up, very large. The window rolls down, revealing an almost chalk white face with bright red lips, eyes hidden. Come on and get in, Sugar Ray. We're going home. I hope you had a good day at school, kiddo. Sugar Ray looks back at the school and then sadly opens the door to the car and gets in. The window starts to roll up. And then it just speeds off at just really way too fast, almost running a couple students over.
No.
We better get ready for the beach, kid.
Oh no, the beach episode.
Yeah.
There you go. That's the session. Tried to keep it tight. And good job.
Yay.
Oh, yay, this song.
We actually learned the lesson today.
Yeah.
We did it.
Even if we did almost explode.
For your students, Marisol, your older brother probably bullies you about schoolwork when you get home, and how you're a clown who's like taking it too seriously. Simone, the I guess tech internship you have is going well, even though you have to hire somebody to pretend to be an intern in your place. Probably just another young student with a pink wig. But it's going well for you. It's fine. It's really easy work. Nia, your parents at your house are just more like shadows on the wall, it seems like. You can hear them talking and kind of making demands of you, but they're never really there when you try to look. They're just always shadowed, kind of going from one room to another. And sometimes it sounds like your dad is in danger or pain, but it's hard to tell.
Oh no, not again.
And as for you, Ryan, weirdly, in this world, in reality, you do have like a fake family. They're not your real family at all. They don't actually talk to you. They just kind of have generic stock phrases that they say. But everybody seems to accept that you're part of this place, including these fake people who they're nice enough. You even have like a generic dog that just stands kind of in a hallway wagging its tail and looking up with its mouth open. It doesn't move or go anywhere. It just stands there and wags its tail.
And would Ryan like know that this is fake because she's here for a reason? Okay.
She would know absolutely that this is all fake. Aside from the fact that she doesn't know who any of these people are, but there are photos of her on the wall with these people. They don't give answers to complicated questions. They don't do anything outside of a small routine. Like the dad is always like lowering his newspaper in his chair to like look over and say something and then pulling it back up.
The mother is always walking in and out of the house to put down or pick up gardening tools and gloves. And then acting like, she just got done with work and then going back out to do more work, but then walking back in and saying things about like the garden outside. And one interesting thing, I guess, for you is that you have multiple incoming messages from not just Rich Tan, but it seems that there are messages from Kelly Crewcut, Lewis Clark, and Jeff Lynn, high-ranking student council members who are interested in what Rich was trying to tell them about therapy. A student who's a therapist. They are all trying to make contact, meaning you may be able to do some kind of, practice here. And you have already 4 different patients to start with. Yes.
So many of them.
You know what? On that note, yeah, it's not just them. Other people are starting to flood your fucking line.
I mean, no,
My God.
I could maybe use some help.
One of them is Kurtzsmith the 83rd, who's just saying, boy, I just feel the pressure of having to be so polite all the time. Oh, boy. Well, anyway, and then a long
Alright.
summary.
She's gonna be so powerful with all this mental stress.
That's true. There's a lot of incoming mental. Like, yeah, if this were money, your eyes would be turning into dollar signs.
They sent in the perfect person.
Oh gosh.
The final message you get is just from someone named P. Lewis Clark Lazo, and it just asks, it's just asking you if you'd like to play baseball sometime. Doesn't seem to be a therapy request. That's it though.
Yeah, Plaza's perfect. He doesn't need anything.
Well, sometimes he has questions about the game.
Oh, the game of life.
No, baseball.
No one's explained him the game yet.
Yeah, I think it's come up multiple times. He doesn't actually know how to play baseball.
Oh no, someone needs to teach that boy.
Oh. He just loves it.
Yeah, he just likes the aesthetics. Like he likes popcorn and the peanuts and the sound of the bat, the crack of the bat, all that stuff. It's great. It's the best.
He doesn't even need to play. He just needs to watch.
Although he did as a weapon have an inflatable bat that I think was I think it only did 1 stress no matter how hard like his rolls went, and he could clash with it for free. So just smack somebody, flurry them with a bat.
He just used it to keep pests away.
He's a simple boy, and yeah, he was basically the pet, I guess, of the first campaign for the most part. I don't know. Like they just kept him around even though
He was a boblin.
Yeah, boblin.
We just found our boblin and we were like, okay, I guess we're gonna keep this boblin.
Alrighty though. Thanks for humoring me and running with this session. Side session. So I was looking forward to wrapping up the forest one, but yeah. No, you two. He probably would have wanted to be here for this one too.
Of course.